The whole purpose about understanding about the shoestring right here is you have right here is like the way the shoestring, the laces are aligned on the shoe, and then from here you have right here is like knowing it from how they go in the holes, and knowing that with these I guess if you want to call them the slots, and then you have right here is like something what you call is like maybe the tongue or something like that, the shoe, and you place it like that. But for knowing about it, for how we tie our shoes is that you would you pull each from each side, if it's vertical or horizontal sides, you pull each opposite side towards you, and towards your outer the outer part, or if you want to pull it towards you, but and then you would go ahead and like say it's like you would switch sides like this, and then pull it tight, and then from there and then form a loop, and then you'll use like say it's like the straw, use it's like for the left side is to pull that through, it's like the loop right there, and then pull it outwards and squeeze it, is like pull it tight, and then from there and then form a bow, and then wrap the the right side around, it's like for the left, and then loop it through the hole like that, then through the loop, and pull. As it forms a tie. As I talk about, it's like learning, it's like basics about how to tie a shoe, and knowing about some people that may say for how to make a double knot. A lot of times that they say if you want to go ahead and wrap it around the loop again the second time, just to form out like that. But then on your hand too, if we were to be walking, and then all of a sudden it's like that we'd be walking, and then if we see how that is. A lot of times with a double knot, that's usually about how it is right there, to where it's a little bit harder, to get untied compared to if you were to pull it apart like that right there. I'm like, that some people say that especially if you form a double knot, a lot of times that you got to pull it. It's like from how it was formed, that's how the knots are formed. But let's say that if you were to tie your shoe like this right here, like redo the work right here, tie the shoe that way. And form a loop is like tie it and wrap it around like a tie right there, and like you got it there to shoot. But then of course if you were to pull it like that right there, it comes untied very easily. So in a lot of ways, and knowing about for perfect ways of how to tie a shoe, the basic steps right here. When most kids, whenever they're 8 years old, and knowing about different ways of course of how they tie a shoe. One way of course, and I remember used to have it to where that I would tie my shoe, I think like this right here. If we see this right here, to where I would tie it like that right there, and they say that that's not how you tie your shoe. Here, undo that. And usually that they say it's easier to tie it like this. Alright, then if we were to turn this backwards, tie it like this. You tie it like that right there, to where you have the left side right here and then the right side, but then instead of doing it like say like a rectangular type loop right here, to where the right side goes right beside the left side, and it forms like a tie loop like this. So they say that that's not how you tie a shoe. And knowing about well, it's going to stay tied either way, but then knowing about if you follow like this right here till you form a loop into around the loop right here, it forms a bow tie. And then tie it like that, and that's how you tie a shoe.